CTV News at 6 with Joe Perkins.
Good evening. Thank you for being here on this Sunday night. Day 2 of the Summer Games is in the books, and Canada is on the podium. A diving duo from Quebec, Emily Haymans and Jennifer Abel, have this country's first medal of bronze in the women's 3-meter synchronized diving. We will get to that, but first tonight we begin at the Victoria International Airport, where 1 year ago today, a car careened out of control, jumped a curb, then plowed full speed into a picnic table full of taxi drivers, killing 56-year-old Ramesh Sharma. Today, the father of 3 was remembered. With tears in their eyes, the Sharma family returns to the site that took their father.
July 29th was a horrific day.
This is all that was left of a packed picnic table outside the Victoria International Airport. It's where Ramesh Sharma was playing cards with other taxi drivers when a car barreled towards them, running over several people. 5 people were sent to hospital, including Sharma. The 57-year-old died later that night in hospital, leaving behind a wife and 3 children.
Really, I'm speechless. You know, I wasn't really prepared to come here today.
She's joined by her older brother, a cab driver just like his father, a member of a close-knit taxi community still coping with the loss.
Slowly, everybody's coming to grips, but it has, left its mark on us.
It's been a year of changes for everyone. Sabina Sharma is now a high school graduate. She says her family spends more time together, but the biggest change comes outside the airport, a new break room for taxi drivers. The driver of the car, Shirley Zerbin, was fined $1,500 and prohibited from driving for 3 years. Her lawyer says she'll never drive again. Meanwhile, drivers say when they sit and play cards, just like they did last year, they'll have Ramesh Sharma on their minds.
You know, couldn't be a better person. Always laughing and joking, in every situation.
Oh, he was an honest person, gentleman. All I can describe as honest gentleman.
And he's the best friend I lost in my life. Very good. Yeah.
And the best dad a family has ever known.
He was perfect.
An investigation and autopsy is expected to come this week after a 75-year-old man was found dead floating in the Gorge Waterway. Victoria police were called to the scene around 3:30 yesterday afternoon after the body was spotted floating face down near the Gorge Point condominium complex. Police say it appears the man who lives in the complex fell into the water. The search began when the man's wife came home and could not find her husband. After about an hour of searching, the body was eventually found.
It does not appear he was swimming. It does not appear he went in on purpose. So we're assuming that he accidentally fell off the bank or something into the water. There's no direct witnesses, but there's no evidence that he was dressed for swimming or had intended on going swimming.
For now, police are calling the death an accident. Victoria Major Crimes Unit will begin their review tomorrow. A young man is still in custody after a stabbing yesterday afternoon in Saanich. Police were called to the Saanich Plaza parking lot near Save On Foods after someone reported a man with a weapon. One man was taken to hospital after being stabbed and was later released with non-life-threatening injuries. Police are recommending charges against the youth and expect him to stay in police custody overnight. And police are looking for the owner of a Pitbull after an attack in Bernard Park Saturday. Victoria police say a woman was walking with her guide dog when she was attacked by a Pitbull. She suffered a significant bite to her forearm. It's unclear if the guide dog was bitten. BC ambulance was called to the park to treat the woman. The owner of the Pitbull fled the scene. In the interior, 2 people are confirmed dead. A 3rd person is missing after a tubing adventure on the Kettle River near Grand Forks. RCMP say a group of 13 people were floating down the river just west of Cascade Falls yesterday afternoon when 3 of them were swept up by the current and pulled over a set of waterfalls. The bodies of a 74-year-old man from Christina Lake and his 71-year-old wife have been located. A 3rd person, a 50-year-old man from Scotland, is still missing. Well, today marks the start of a week-long series of celebrations in Victoria to mark 150 years of incorporation. Party started this afternoon in Centennial Square. All week long, similar events are scheduled around the city. Today's event was called History to Life, a chance for families to explore Victoria's history through art and music and arts and crafts. The main event is on Thursday. That will be the official 150th anniversary of the city.
You know, we're a relatively young city, but we have a rich history. And I think sometimes we take advantage of that rich history, and it's a good opportunity for us to think back how the city started, what has contributed to what it's become today. And as we look to the future, of course, you can't look forward until you recognize what has passed.
Thursday's event runs from 11 a.m. to noon in Centennial Square. Along with dignitaries, the event will also include the unveiling of Canada Post's commemorative envelope. For more information on the week of festivities, you can go to www.victoria.ca/150forward. And the start of one party does mean the end of another. The Victoria International Buskers Festival wrapped up today, putting the final touches on the 10-day event. Festival organizers say the second year of the festival was a success. The weather was good, especially on weekends, the 2 weekends that were during the festival. Attendance numbers from the opening weekend were well above last year's, and organizers say the new additions to this year were generally well received.
Overall, we had a number of new aspects, as you know, this year. The government street closure, we had a comedy cabaret, we introduced a music stage in Bastion Square. All of them have worked out absolutely wonderfully. They're very well received by the community. We've had nothing but positive feedback. So it's just been another great year, and bodes well for going forward.
Vickers says he would like to see more business along Government Street remain open during the street closure. Directing traffic was a bit of an issue, but Vickers says extending the street closure one more block all the way to Fort Street will help that next year. He says the festival is on track to become one of the premier buskers festivals around the world.
According to many of the performers, they really do feel it has the opportunity to become one of the biggest events in the world. Again, we only are in year 2, but one of the great things about Victoria is we have almost an international postcard that's out there already. A lot of people have heard about the city, and this is really a catalyst for them to come and see fantastic street theater from all over the world. And as I say, I think it really does bode well for our community partners.
Also under consideration for next year, the expansion of the festival's waterfront presence. The festival hopes to have a larger music presence with a bigger venue in the Inner Harbor. Welcome back. It was a sure sign of success today for the Garry Oaks Ecosystems Recovery Team. 4 western bluebirds have hatched and left the nest, and for the first time in nearly 2 decades, the once thought extinct bird is now foraging in the Cowichan Valley. CTV's Jet Bassey has that story.
Irvin has their lunch ready. Worms, the western bluebird's favorite snack.
Sort of stuff their beaks with food and then fly to that bird box.
He dumps them into the feeder, hoping the adult birds will take food back to the 4 baby bluebirds in this man-made bird's nest. The birds come, fill their beaks, and perch on the tree nearby. Not one of them flew back to the wooden box.
Yeah, but I'm seeing young ones around, so I'm wondering if they've left.
Irvin opens the box. To his surprise, the fledglings have flown the coop.
They built a nest in the bluebird box and laid eggs a couple of weeks ago. And we're just finding out this morning that those little ones have fledged and they already left the nest.
It's the first successful bluebird nesting in the Cowichan Valley since 1995. They were once common throughout the Salish Sea area, but now their population is red-listed, considered locally extinct.
Numbers started dwindling in the 1950s, and although bluebirds occasionally visit Vancouver Island, they don't stop to nest.
The Nature Conservancy of Canada has created this natural lab to reintroduce bluebirds to the valley.
They were extirpated due to habitat loss, lack of nesting cavities, and also the use of pesticides and herbicides, which has an impact on insects, which is their main food source.
Only a few months ago, 17 bluebirds were brought over to this ecosystem from Washington State. It's part of the Bring Back the Western Bluebird project. The empty nest is a sign of success.
And the fledglings have left the nest and are now learning to forage locally. There will be a connection for them in this region. And if they find enough insects and food, good food source and nesting habitat, it's very likely that they'll return to the Cowichan Valley.
The birds are expected to migrate, fly down south as far as the San Juan Islands. Irvin hopes that they will return here, nest and lay eggs, restarting the circle of life. Jet Bassey, CTV News, Maple Bay.
For me, thank you very much.
Some very important rules being taught today at the Royal BC Museum in honor of Cecil Beaton's exhibit that's in town right now. Families turned out today for Wonder Sunday, a program on the last Sunday of every month that ties in with that month's gallery. Children had the chance to create royal portraits of one another. They had the opportunity to design fancy hats just like the royal family and learn proper tea etiquette.
Yeah, it's looking at royalty not in a overly serious tone, but having it be serious and informative, but also fun and playful as well.
The Monarchist League of Victoria was also in attendance today to help out with the event, as well as the cake cutting ceremony.